What? Well, Lord Hagen never sent anybody else to guard this pass, so I figured somebody's got to do it. But we're not going to save the world standing around here all day, so let's move on. Yes, today we are stepping back into the chainmail shoes of the Paladin. And one thing that's easy to overlook, in fact something that I overlooked for years, is that there's actually an encounter unique to the Paladins as you follow this road here. And obviously I always missed it because we have runes to travel at this point, so I had no reason to walk along. You'll notice an orc standing upon the bridge here. He is actually not hostile on sight. His name is Orcish Warlord. We actually have not encountered one of these with such a title. He has the same appearance as the elite orcs that we've seen before. Just so that these dragoon snappers don't cause any awkwardness, let's get rid of them. There's also a sneaker over there, but I'm not concerned with sneakers right now. Alright, fell beast, what say you?
Kraknar! Master say you paladin now. Master right. Master always right. Us leaders have proud orc army now. Come ourselves for killing great paladin. Hagen and his men be wiped out. Even you know can help them.
Wow. So you semi-sort of speak the king's English. So, these fellows, quite a bit tougher than even the orc elites. So bear that in mind. Luckily, with our Claw of Beliar, we're not too bad, even though the Paladin is not all that skilled with it. Our strength is quite low, and our one-handed skill sub 50, so... But as I said before, the chance of extra damage from the Claw of Beliar is completely independent of your skills, and the damage it does is completely independent of any enemy resistances. I don't believe that this one talks. Yeah, they attack on sight, so... Luckily, their arrow resistance is not too great. So they're easy to put down like that. But you do want to loot them. They carry something that we're going to need later on.
Nothing to be had there.
Just want to double check. You might notice we picked up a ring. Ring of the Orcish Warlords. So every orc called an Orc Warlord, you want to pick one of those up. I said before that these, all three factions basically have their own kind of quest that remains open-ended at this point in the game. The mages had the possessed people and collected their almanacs. The dragon hunters had the dragon eggs. And we went around the countryside looking for those. This is that equivalent for paladins. Now there is a second, at least a second, yeah, not this guy. There is one more orc warlord who had something to say. Now I'll be honest. For years, I kind of defended the fact that the orcs in Gothic 3 spoke reasonable English and kind of had a human element to them, because
nothing to be had there.
I've always been kind of against the idea of just representing orcs as this monstrous, destructive, like, force of nature that they always kind of tend to be in these sorts of things, where they're just the go-to unanimously evil entity with no real motivation other than destruction. But the fact that they speak such clean English really does stand in contrast to how these warlords that supposedly came from the mainland have a very tenuous grasp of human language. So, in that regard, it doesn't really make much sense that the Gothic 3 orcs are so capable of speaking the King's English, or whatever language your localization is in. So there's another one up there. Oh, and luckily it came down for us. Look at this idiot. So we will be going through all these in the course of this episode, but probably not without some fast forwarding. I almost said fasting forward. The reason I'm doing this is actually, I want to go through the monastery bit sooner rather than later. But, kind of trying to keep everything in something of an orderly sequence here. And since we encountered this, and I know that there's another one on the road here, and all of this goes back to Lord Hagen, that's what I want to deal with first. So this is the other warlord that actually speaks. I don't know why these two in particular do it. Obviously that one because that was the first one you're likely to encounter. This one I'm not really sure about, other than the fact that he's close to the city.
Master say, Orc leaders, bring head of great Paladin. You now die by my hand. Krok Gnar!
Gnar? You planning on really doing anything, or, there we go. I wanted to give you a chance to actually put your money where your mouth is. So far, I think we got about 4 of these here. 5 rings, holy shit. These rings are interesting because you can put them on, but all they actually do is rob you of 20 strength. For some reason you put the whole stack on at once, which is extra bizarre. But that's why... This is why the Paladins actually don't get the opportunity to... As far as I know... We can double check, honestly. Might as well. I don't believe we are able to do this quest for Dar over here to actually give him one of these, since we need them for our own quest. So the Paladins are locked out of this particular one.
There seem to be...
Sure, who cares? If I could bring...
Tough guy.
Aw, come on, some puffed up nitwit from the city. You dorks got nothing going for you. Now that I think about it, splitting your skull is exactly what would get me a lot of respect with Lee's boys.
You really want to try it?
Okay, just try it.
Ooh, I can't wait.
Alright, so that's his plan. I'm gonna swap out to old Betty here because I don't want to actually kill him. Just want to teach him a lesson. Well, that was close. That's one of the biggest bugs that can cause you some headaches in this game, is when your character fails to put his sword away, because that has often led to accidentally stabbing the guy on the ground when you try to just loot them.
Well, we'll see the next time. Alright, I know Lee won't exactly be thrilled if I get into it again with you. I don't want to make any enemies here, so let's forget the nonsense, okay?
You're the one who instigated the nonsense, okay? I don't know if I ever knew about that encounter, to be honest. Since I knew he didn't have a quest for us, I actually never talked to him as a paladin. So, I'm glad I double-checked. That was a surprise to me. It's probably another one of those things I did know about at some point. Somebody probably told me, and since I haven't done it since, I forgot about it again. But anyway, I do suggest that even if you use the Claw of Beliar like I do, have a backup weapon. You need something that doesn't deal that extra damage, because it can quite often kill NPCs when you don't want it to. But more importantly, it is actually not useful against the final boss of this game. Which is something I frequently forget. So you definitely need something else. With this character, it doesn't really matter too much, because we're going to be using bow in that encounter, so it's not a big deal. But you must bear it in mind. You know what? 4 windows on the outside here. How much you want to bet? There's none on the inside. Okay. Well, there's 2 there. None on this side. These 2 don't even line up. God damn it, Piranovites. I'm so disappointed.
The dragons are dead.
I knew that Innos would give you the strength to defeat the dragons. Where is the ore?
The orcs are still besieging the castle in the Valley of Mines. Garan stands no chance of leaving the castle before the siege is ended.
Damn it! If Garand isn't capable of handling the situation, then I shall have to see to it myself. A few orcs won't stop me. Not me! I have already informed my
Well,
men.
maybe if you
We
went
are
alone.
preparing for departure. We shall all go. I shall leave only a minimal guard on the ship. That shall be enough then to finally put an end to the orcs.
If you say so. But I've got other news.
Wait a minute. The orcs' elite warriors are attacking the land.
What makes you say that?
I talked to one of them. Your name was mentioned.
Nonsense. My people have not reported a massive invasion of orcs so far. Perhaps some of their scouts got lost in the nearby woods.
Those were no scouts. I took this ring from one of them.
Show me. That is certainly disturbing. That is a sign of their strength. So the orcs have left their palisades and are fighting on the open field.
I haven't seen a whole lot so far. Mainly they're warlords and only a few fighters.
So, then they must be plotting something else. That is rather unlike orcs, that their leaders should leave their protective palisades by themselves. It would be a good opportunity, however, to deliver them a telling blow. If they lose their leaders, their morale will sink as well. You have a new assignment, Knight. Go and kill the orc leaders you can find here in the area. Bring me their rings. That will be a tough blow to the orcs. Ask Ingmar about this. He can give you a few tactical hints for fighting the orc leaders. The orcs' elite warriors are his specialty. He has often had to deal with them.
There's something else I have to report about the orcish warlords.
Then tell me.
I can give you some more orc rings.
I am proud of you. Carry on. There may still be a few of them out there. Here, let me give you some gold towards your equipment.
So this ends up being quite a profitable venture. There's a lot of orcs out there. So this is good to go. One of the things I never really showed is the runes that you can get as a paladin, because I never really use them. The problem is they cost learning points to be able to get.
Am I worthy of
Which way? The way of healing or the way of battle?
Sorry, I shouldn't really be skipping these because I haven't heard them before.
I choose the path of combat.
So, even though we're in Chapter 5 now and can accelerate it to pseudo Chapter 6, you have to get these spells in order, which is very frustrating. We get the Holy Light spell just off the bat. I think I did show that because that's probably why we have one. But the other ones you have to learn in order. So you can get the Holy Arrow, and then there's something else. I don't remember exactly what they are because I never used them, but Martin at the docks, the militiaman, actually sells scroll versions of all of the paladin spells you can get from him, in addition to one that I don't think you can actually get in this version of the game. It's one that he's supposed to give, but his dialogue never offers it. Quite strange. And he told us to talk to Ingmar. Here's Geryon. We never spoke with this fellow. He's the one-handed trainer.
I'm ready to be trained.
Or sorry, he's a two-handed trainer, even though he's got a one-handed weapon and nothing but one-handed wielders with him. But where's this Ingmar? Ingmar's probably one of these guys.
You should really have known better.
If he doesn't see them, I can't help.
Nope. So, where is he?
That's all just...
Thought he was supposed to be the two-handed trainer. Or the one-handed trainer. In this case. But where are you at? There. Alright, walked right past you.
How is the situation on the mainland?
The war isn't won yet, although the royal troops are already driving back the orcs. But small bands of orcs are gathering in many places, trying to scatter our army. They fight without honor and without faith, and therefore we shall prevail in the end.
Well, if that's some foreshadowing if I've ever heard it.
Can you teach me?
I can teach you how to fortify your arms in order to wield your weapons more effectively.
That is a very roundabout way of saying I can train you to fight.
The orcs are planning a major offensive.
Indeed. Well, that's very interesting. And how can you claim to know this?
I've talked to them. Some of their leaders are haunting this area.
That doesn't sound like a typical orc strategy.
What does that mean?
If what you say is right, that means that they hope to weaken us from the inside by attacking with their best warriors. Usually there is one warlord leading each horde of orc fighters. You rarely see two or more of them together. They do this for a reason. Their leaders form the core of their attack strategy and are usually surrounded by the orc warriors. Thus, it is really hard to get close to any of them without having to fight your way through a horde of at least 30 warriors.
What should we do now?
When they are seen in numbers like this, they usually form a raiding patrol led by the highest among them. This highest warlord establishes the headquarters and withdraws to some cave from where he sends his troops into battle. If we could get hold of this leader, it would give us a decisive advantage. An orc leader usually likes to hang out in the vicinity of his enemies. It would be advisable to look for his cave somewhere not too far from the city. Some orcs have been spotted near Lobart's farm. Maybe that's where you should begin your search.
So this is not a difficult, orc to track down. You might have already guessed where he is. But that's not what we're going for straight away. Because I want to get our true Paladin's armor. As you might have guessed, that comes from doing the monastery bit. So first things first, need to get some mana back so we can warp to Zardas. Beg your pardon. Nah, never mind. Your ass is grass. Not gonna lie, last time I did that, that orc scared the shit out of me. And probably several other times before that, because I always forget he's there.
Where's Zardas?
He's gone. And he left these
None of this has changed, so let's skip. Now we go, well, let's read this first so we don't waste time. Huh. How did these make it in my pocket? In fact, where did all these gold nuggets come from? Mystery of life, I guess. Zarok Bandito. Alright, to the monastery. Melty. So nobody whine that I'm skipping dialogues, because we've already been through them. Go watch episode 49, I believe, if you want to hear those. Well, one thing I want to mention now, while we're already 20 minutes into the video, I made a post on YouTube under the community tab, but not everyone gets to see those, so I'll mention it at the start of this video. Since we're wrapping up this series soon, and we're close to the end of the year, I wasn't sure if I'd be able to get the last video out before New Year's like I said I would. Which got me thinking of a thought. This whole series started with with a live stream sort of marathon, as I did these so-called training runs of this game to get ready for the walkthrough. And that started on New Year's Eve of 2018. So yeah, it's been technically just about 3 years since this whole series started, if we include the live streams. Obviously, the videos didn't start for quite a few months after that. I forget exactly when. But since it's possible, it almost seemed appropriate. Oh god. Oh god! I forgot close quarters make the arrows go bonkers. It would seem appropriate that we actually conclude the series on a live stream as well. So my thought was that we get to the final area. We get to the Hall of Irdarath on the island. And from there, that entire last episode would occur as a live stream. So that's going to be something that you can see live. I'm basically going to perform it as a live stream, but with some chat interactions. Perform it as if it was a video, but with the chat interactions. So it's going to be going through the same sort of topics. All the same commentary is going to be as it is. But I guess we'll have some sort of questions or whatever from the chat that we can fill some of the usual silence with. Not that there's going to be a lot of silence in the last episode. There's quite a lot to go over. But I think it'll be fun. So the logistics of that I have to work out. I need to decide on a time, and more importantly, I need to decide how I'm going to handle it as far as YouTube's concerned. I know a lot of folk who do live streams actually simultaneously stream on YouTube and Twitch at the same time, even though that's against both of their terms of service as far as I know. Oh god, he's ready to blast. That ain't good. I'm afraid, because if I stop to shoot, he's gonna fire it off. And there we go. Not too bad. Anyway. I have never done that. And I'm not sure what it's, what it takes. I think you need to have basically 2 different stream managers running at the same time. And it'll probably do a number on my system here. Trying to get that to happen. So I'm not too sure about that yet. Oh no. Oh, I hate when this happens. Well, at least I can save my peace. But yeah, so I'll have to work out and see if that's actually possible to do the live stream on both platforms at the same time. That way, people who don't have a Twitch account and stubbornly refuse to get one for whatever reason could still tune in and actually interact using the YouTube chat window. But if that doesn't work out, then basically what's going to happen is I'm going to stream it on Twitch and then export it to YouTube as soon as possible. To that end, I'm probably going to have to basically finagle the opening to be like the usual opening I do for these videos, but that won't be too hard. Other than that, yeah, so that would basically end up uploaded to YouTube immediately, so hopefully they would still be on time for everyone to see it on January 1st, which is basically when I started uploading the streams to YouTube anyway, so again, it would still be timely. But regardless, I need to exactly what time, because it's going to happen on New Year's Eve, December 31st, but it needs to happen at a time that works for everyone. And that's, I say that, there's really not going to be a time that works for everyone. It's going to be the time that's most convenient for me, but hopefully allows me to still get the episode up in time. So if you do want to see it on Twitch, just in case I can't get it to work on YouTube, link it to my channels in the description below. As I say at the end of every video, there's live streams every weekend at the same time, so you can check those out if you wish. It's a lot of games that people who care about the Gothic stuff probably aren't that interested in, but it also leads me to the topic of what I might do after this Gothic 2 walkthrough is over. And to be honest, my first thought, and really I was meaning to keep these topics ready for the next video, because basically I'm going to be gallivanting around the Valley of Mines and stuff, finishing up stuff that I haven't done on the major run. But in a nutshell, I think there's going to be a short break from YouTube, which is kind of hilarious because with my upload schedule, it's been mostly breaks and very few productive days. But I kind of just want to take a short break from it because Gothic burnout is setting in a little bit. And my next planned full walkthrough is actually going to be for the first Risen. I don't think I'm going to do walkthroughs for all 3 games, mainly because the second one sucks and the third one doesn't really warrant a walkthrough, because it's kind of easy enough on its own. But before I really get started with that, I kind of want to do the same thing where I live stream it for all 3 guilds, just to really see what the differences are and what I need to know. But between now and then, Elex 2 is coming out on March 1st, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right? Or was it February 1st? I think it was March 1st. And that's sandwiched right in between 2 games I wanted to live stream, which are Elden Ring and Stalker 2. So I think I'm going to continue the trend of Bronobite's new releases and keep it as a YouTube series, where my first impressions are all on YouTube rather than on a live stream, which is fair enough because people tend to spoil things when I live stream them. So keeping it that way would be interesting. Make sure this doesn't... Okay. So this actually has something relevant for us. But bear that in mind. So after this is over, the YouTube front's going to be kind of quiet, other than the live stream re-uploads. But then on March 1st, I'm going to be making a comeback of these pre-recorded episodes for the blind playthrough of Elex 2. So at least we'll have that to look forward to on the YouTube side. And at some point, I will start the live streams for Risen to get ready for the walkthrough. And that'll be the next thing going on. Other than that, I know I had said that there were a lot of Gothic mods that I wanted to try out. I cannot promise I'll commit to finishing any of them, because a lot of them, even when they are introduced to me with high praise, they tend to be kind of shit, not gonna lie. A lot of mods I played for Gothic and Gothic 2 have not been very good. And even the ones that people love, I get the feeling I'm gonna find a lot to hate about them. So I will decide how I'm gonna do those. They're probably gonna be live streams, which means they will be re-uploaded here, and they're not really gonna be that much different from playing them on my own. But that, again, logistics of that will be worked out and elaborated in full when I decide how I'm going to do them. But for now, let's carry on. So this book here talks about Halls of Irdorath. We have to check the map. Then it goes on to say, the stronger they are, the more valuable they seem to him as undead servants. These converted paladins were very hard for any warrior to defeat. One of them has fallen into my hands. I only hope the others won't notice his presence down here. The converted paladin no longer seems to react to any stimuli. I have stored his armor and the rest of his belongings in the back room. The door can only be opened from the inside. I have built a teleport rune to get into the room. I have placed the instructions for it in the almanac so that the one can find them. So here's the almanac. Hope the dome may protect the ore from the kingdom of Beliar. You have to create a teleport rune to reach the secret place. For that you need a blank rune stone and a smaller bottle of holy water. You can use the rune to teleport into the room. I'm now reasonably certain that the Tears of Innos are what the paladins of old used in the forgotten ritual consecration of the sword. That means I should be able to use the little bottle I found to give additional strength to a consecrated weapon. So, there's your tip there. Now, I actually accidentally sold this sword. I'd gotten it because I wanted to show it off, but I'd accidentally sold it before getting to this far, and I'm glad that I found who I sold it to, because I was able to get it back. But I'm actually kind of happy that it worked out that way, because I didn't go through the process of consecrating the sword the first time. So what we're going to find is that there's a second way to consecrate it using the Tears of Innos. I mentioned that the Dragon Hunters are the only guild that never get the chance to use the Tears of Innos in any way. So the Paladins, this is how we do it. This is how we get to use it. But I want to see if you can skip the first consecration. I doubt you can, because I'm sure it's based on having the specific consecrated sword.
Hey,
But it's worth a look.
I found a slot.
And there was.
So we got the goods. We need to find a rune table so we can pour holy water on it. And somehow, even though that creates a holy missile rune when we're a mage, it instead creates a teleport rune to the secret room as a paladin. One of those contrivances when they've kind of run out of ideas at this point in the game. Frankly, I don't know why it needs to be in the secret room. Why it can't just be on the table? Because all of that was protected down there. Zardes kept it locked away, nice and secret. But I don't think I showed it. I'm sure I didn't. This room with the paladin armor, I think it exists for all guilds, meaning at any point you could clip in here using console commands. You'll see right where it is right now. It's just the other side from the library. With the demons right there. And I think if you just clip in here with Marvin mode commands, you can actually get this armor as any guild. I have to double check that. I may be talking out of my arse. But anyway, we got the paladin armor, and it is, as far as I know, just about equivalent to the heavy dragon hunter's armor. So very, very nice. A significant step up from this. It is weird to me that the basically the mercenaries / dragon hunters are the only ones that have a medium armor kind of slot. But we don't need that teleport rune anymore, obviously. We can sell it whenever we want. But most importantly, we got the the Tears of Innos. We got the chart to the Halls of Irdarath.
So that's where you're hiding out. Damn far away. I'll need a ship to get there.
I've been able to...
Been through all this.
Zardes...
I mentioned that you get 250 XP whether or not you tell them how you knew how to open the book.
That, but where you're that it meant as that. I've that. What's the heart? Do not let the guy when he's get the.
So that's it. Now let's see what this sword's all about. So what are the troubles that makes
For Innos, brother. If you have come to learn something about the consecration of the sword, then ask Marduk.
Do I wanna? I don't really want to talk to him. He's just got a lot of pointless shit to say.
I want to consecrate my sword.
If you are determined to take this step, you will first need a blade of tempered ore.
That's not what your subtitle said.
You should then retreat to the chapel and pray. During the prayer, and after a reasonable donation to our Lord Innos, you should ask Innos for his grace and guidance in the battle against evil. If Innos is well disposed towards you, your sword will be consecrated to our Lord from that moment on.
What kind of a donation?
Now, in view of the grace that is granted to you, a sum of 5,000 gold pieces is more than suitable. Of course, you are allowed to give more.
Well, 5,000 is more than suitable. What is exactly suitable, so I don't have to give him too much?
Where can I get a magic blade?
Try in the city with Herod, the smith. He provides the paladins with specially tempered blades while they are on the island.
No one must violate the divine order.
So yeah, basically he's telling you need one of Herod's magic ore blades, which we have here. The rough ore blade, which I can't use because I ain't strong enough. This is one of the reasons why the Paladins have, I felt like always had the most trouble getting money. Because a lot of the stuff they gotta do costs a lot of money. And this is one of them. But this is optional, obviously. We got this far without it. So yeah, we cannot consecrate the sword with the tears just from the basic ore sword. So we do that. Our rough ore blade becomes a blessed ore blade. You'll notice that it got 20 more damage without requiring any more strength. But if we drip some Inos's weepings upon it, now becomes the Wrath of Inos. Same sword, but another 20 damage, and again, no more requirement of strength. So that's all well and good. Still not the best one-handed weapon, I don't think. Even taking the unique Dragon Hunter weapons into account. But it's irrelevant to us, because we will never have the strength to wield it, which is why I have Betty here and Claw of Beliar for most of the encounters. I like how he says that if Inos is well disposed towards you, then he will empower your sword, but there's nothing to make him poorly disposed towards us, no matter what we do. Even as we walk into his sacred chamber there, with the artifact of his enemy. But, well, the gods be fickle.
Hey, I heard.
Yes, yes.
This is Ed, and I'll.
We should...
Good.
Okay, so that's all we need. I'm not gonna, again, worry about putting the crew together for any of the factions right now. What I do want is to get the chance to upgrade the sword again. And then we're gonna go on a trip to take out all of the dudes. The Orc Warlords. Trouble is, we don't get a map. Or, a list of names or anything like the other two faction quests get. Is quite annoying, so essentially we just have to run around town. Actually, you know what? I might be talking about out of my ass. The Orc Warlord that we're looking for, the one that Ingvar... I don't know. Whatever his name was. Ingward. The Warlord he told us about might actually have a map. I'm not sure. I don't remember. We shall find out shortly. Okay, so we only got one more level out of this. But every little bit helps. Now, one thing I can do, since this character's got a lot of dex, I can actually learn pickpocketing. I will show that off with the mage, even though this would be the ideal character for it. Pickpocketing, or picking pockets, or pickety-pockety, is an interesting ability because it's all based on dexterity. You can fail it, which can cause NPCs to become hostile. And there's not a really distinct indication on whether or not you have enough dexterity to pull it off. And for years, I wasn't sure if it was like a dice roll kind of thing, or if it was a...
That's terrible.
Like a dice roll kind of thing akin to Dungeons and Dragons, where, you know, as you improve your skill, your chances improve, but it's still somewhat of a gamble. But I don't think it is. But basically, when you go through the process of trying to pick pockets, the options range from very easy or child's play all the way up to damn difficult or nearly impossible. And each of those corresponds to a value of dexterity that you need to have in order to successfully pick the pocket. And that can be quite troublesome to deal with. But the good news is, you get a shitload of XP for picking pockets. But the way it works is, again, I'll show it when we actually get to... And we just when we're as the mage, because that's the one I'm going to do the Blood Chalice quest for. And that's when we actually need it. But the more pockets you pick, the greater the XP rewards become. And it's just incremental in how many pockets you've picked until now. So your first one's always going to have the lowest, even if you go for one of the more difficult pockets. And then, I don't know how many pocket picking opportunities there are across the entire game, but it's just the more you do, the better the XP rewards. Which is an interesting way to do it. You would think it would be based on the difficulty of the pocket, but it ain't be that way.
I got rid of the orcs on your land.
Don't let anyone say that the Paladins don't do anything for us small farmers.
You won't hear me saying that.
I can't give you much, but I hope you'll appreciate my gesture of gratitude.
I still can't get over the Lobart and how self-righteous he was when we first came on his land. And he demands to know whether we stand with the king or the farmers. In either way, he sneers at us for our decision. And then admits that he doesn't really know what he would pick if he had a choice. Fucking guy. So anyway, if you haven't guessed already, the orc leader that we need to worry about is all the way out here. You would think he would have a bit more to cover his ass. Actually, it just dawns on me that, there's a stone tablet over here that I might have could have used to avoid spending learning points on getting my archery up to 100. But, whatever. Nobody ever accused me of being a min-maxer.
Nothing to be had there.
I like how the warlords are always facing away. Always seem to be facing away from where you're coming. Yeah, there's a lot of rings to be had. So we've given 5 so far. We've picked up 3 more? 4 more. Wow. So I'm going to hang on to these until we get to all of them so we can see how many we get in total. I believe we get 150 gold for each and 250 XP for each. Just another warlord. But the big cheese is in here. Interesting thing about this fellow. First of all, he's got no more health than the warlords. I don't think his stats are any different. I'll double check that. But he also, of all things, carries the war axe. This is the axe that Gorn liked to use in the previous game. It's the only non-orc weapon that any orc actually uses. And yeah, looks like I was right. He actually does carry the map showing that his war plan. So there we go. Interesting... what you call it? Symbol going on there. Okay, so I must be mistaken. I guess I already did loot this area as militia / paladin. Got my stone tablet. Basically, I had one stone tablet of +4 left. And this is the only one whose location I didn't double check, because I knew these orcs are out here. So I thought this was the one I missed. But I guess I didn't miss any, I just started using them before I was supposed to. I said it many times, I don't know why I'm saying it again other than to fill some dead air. But basically, you want to use the freebies after you used the learning points. Because the learning points become more expensive. Or the skills cost more in learning points towards the end, so that's when you want to use the freebies. To spare you that extra cost. When it comes to skills, there's no sense in getting the skills past 100 because they don't give you any bonuses after that point. Obviously, with attributes, those can be leveled up ad nauseum. Well over 100, but become prohibitively expensive. And, but they always take... They are always factored into the damage calculation, so it's always worth improving those. So I guess I'm just going to fast forward through getting all of these orc encounters. These are different from the egg caves, because the problem with the cave map is that only half of them actually had anything in them. So that's why I went through the trouble of marking them accordingly on the map as I went through them all. In this case, all of these indicators are where orcs actually are. So you can follow this map very reliably. So for that reason, I'm not really going to go through the trouble I did with the egg caves. Instead, we're just going to fast forward and skip to each of the fights. So, I'll see you on the other side of that. Wow! Damn, everyone got fucked here. I did not know that they were this vicious. Well, so much for Balthazar. Alas, poor sheep. They go without a shepherd.
Nothing there.
Man, that sucks. I completely forgot about these. Not that they were here, but that they were this close to the farmers.
Nothing there.
So everyone here got wrecked.
Nothing there.
But at least we know Rosie and Till got out of here just in time. But, well, I waltzed past them earlier. Gotta actually...
Nothing to be had
help
there.
them out. Of course, Sekab kept his lazy ass inside, so he missed out on all this.
Has anything happened in the meantime?
My wife has disappeared. At first I didn't notice it at all, and suddenly she was gone. I suspect she fled to the woods to get away from the field raiders. Do me a favor, if you find her, bring her back to me safe and sound.
You know, I'm interested about this. Can we bring her back as a paladin? I thought for some reason that was unique to dragon hunters, but maybe not. It might actually be possible for all three factions to bring the two of them back. Wow. That was lovely. See that again. And pop. What's the next one? We'll deal with these first, because there aren't a whole lot left. And then we'll pick up Rosie and Till and, well, might as well show where we bring them as the Paladin. And check to see if bringing her back as... to Sekab as a Paladin is a possibility. Interesting thought. Oh, he's going for Isgaroth! Halt your orc ass!
Well done. 130.
At least we managed to save somebody. No shit's given. Is any man more pious than he who kneels upon his enemies and prays to his lord? That should be it. Just going around town, we've gotten the ones under the Bandit Bridge. Got the one close to town. And all the ones near Lobart and Zardos, the ones with the landowner. So that's all of them. So all in all, since there are a lot of orcs standing together, we got 17 plus the 5 we already gave them. So that's a total of 22 orc warlords. Well, 21 orc warlords and the 1 orc colonel. Colonel. But before we return those, let's see about Rosie and Till. The dialogue's gonna be the same, but we're gonna offer to take them to a different place. And I just want to see what bringing them to Sekop looks like. At this point, I wish I had checked to see if that was possible as a mage. Are we still as violent with Till as a paladin? Probably are, if we were as a mage.
Far away from home, are you? Daddy won't be able to help you here.
One of these days, I'm gonna shut your big mouth.
You loser. Count yourself lucky if I let you keep...
Then just...
Yeah, be how it is. Alright, what I'm gonna do... Save and reload so we get this sprint bonus taken off.
What do you...
I don't want nothing, I want to talk.
What are you doing here in the wilderness?
I couldn't take it anymore on Sekob's farm. Sekob threw one hissy fit after another. In the end, one couldn't talk to him at all. All he would do was yell. I must get away from here. But I don't know where to turn. Interested in a little deal?
I'll get you out of here. I could take you to the city.
I'll never forget what you did for me. I'll pay you, of course. You go first. We'll follow.
Of course. We will go straight to the city. But first. It is kind of funny to me that at no point on the way bringing her back to Sekop does she question your intentions, but... I mean, this whole quest kind of seems poorly considered. The fact that Till goes completely unmentioned in the entire thing never ceases to amuse me. Till, the forgotten, snot-nosed loser of a child. And it's the only child they have, so it is still really funny that the heir to this farmstead, Sekop seems to care so little about. Yeah, so you can. And it's all, I'm guessing it all works out the same. Might as well check. So we're gonna reload anyway.
I'm bringing back your wife.
That's wonderful. Here, take this for your trouble.
I don't think either of them are gonna save your farm at this point, because all your farm hands are dead.
See? Now you're home again.
You are the worst.
So all the same. We shan't do that. Shall instead go to the city, so follow me, and I will see you there.
I'll find my own way from here. Thank you. I don't know what I would have done without you. Please accept this modest gift as a reward.
Modest indeed. That was quite a hefty reward. I actually thought you had to bring him all the way into town. But let's see where they end up, I guess. For some reason, I have it in my head that they go down to work for Carl, the smith, outside of Ignaz's. I want to see if that's actually true, because somebody else said that they just hang out here at the market. I was wrong. I never noticed before that they actually have a dirt texture on the ground in front of the huts down here. That's a neat attention to detail there. I've never noticed that before. But I like that it goes to show that these people are so down in the dumps and destitute around here. They don't even have time to keep their dwellings clean. They just let the dirt roll in and live with it.
And so he bade Enos to leave a part of his power in his realm.
Oh yeah, they just sit here.
Restore it to the human if the beast should return.
What do you...
So she must have made off with a lot of Sekub's savings. If she's got the kind of money that she rewarded us with and enough to just chill on the bench here.
The light was a torment for Beliar. All that Enos created.
Might as well sell these, they're not really worth anything to me. That, I don't know if we already gave one to Ramirez. And this mysterious stack of gold nuggets, so we can just get rid of that.
No light and no darkness. And so he set himself between.
Well, we have more money than we're ever gonna need for the rest of this game, so.
Their dispute, and
yet we're only going to get more, so let's go chat up Lord Hagon. Or Hagin. Hey, dude.
There's something else I have to report about the Orcish Warlords.
Then tell me.
I can give you some more Orc rings.
I am proud of you. Carry on. I would be amazed if you still found very many of them. You are welcome to keep bringing me their rings, but I think the Orcs have gotten the message now. Here, let me give you some gold towards your equipment.
Now, those Orcs spent a lot of time getting into position out there. But for some reason, once they were there, they didn't seem to have any actual plan to enact. They just kind of stood about the place, waiting to be killed.
I've been able to find the headquarters of the Orcs. Their chief warlord has fallen.
This is great news. That will keep the Orcs busy for a while. Not bad, that. If we had more knights of your kind, the upcoming battle would be a piece of cake. Here, take our gold and use it towards your equipment.
Alright. So with that done, I guess there's nothing else unique to a Paladin that we have left to do here, so I guess that'll wrap up this side of it. If there are any incidental dialogues in the final chapter of this game, I will find out what those are ahead of doing that final episode as the mage, just so that I can represent those in the video, or the live stream, or however it ends up being. So, for now, that's it for the Paladin. So what's going to happen next is I've got at least one episode left to do as a mage here. And then, in the meantime, I'll come up with the details of how we're going to handle the final episode live stream thing. And I will announce how that's going to work out, time, date, everything, in a video ahead of time. So stay tuned for that to figure out how exactly it's going to work out and decide what works best for you. And until then, have yourselves a wonderful week. Stay safe, stay healthy. If you do want to follow on Twitch to catch our usual live streams every weekend, links in the description below. And otherwise, we will see you next time.